that chip out. Probably add that one there to add a little extra to it. Rounding it a bit. See, that's what you get when you're carving fast. Well, you get things done, but you get a lot of these little hack marks you got to deal with later. Okay, around this, take the saw marks off. Clean this a bit. Kind of even it out a little bit, even though it doesn't have to be. One could be bigger than the other, but for aesthetic purposes, I think I'm a little closer. Now I'm just going to do a couple of quick cut marks here, so I don't have to pencil it in. Okay, same thing, kind of round it off. These out. See if we can clean that. No, I guess we can't right now. Probably have to take a chisel to it. Deal with it later. Rounder. Last scoopings. Imperfect it a little bit. Get up underneath the band. Take the chisel, little twisty here and there. You could go off this way, go out that way. Quite a bit of cleaning up to do, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, one is a little, you can adjust. I mean, I will probably adjust that a little bit. I mean, even though you and I know that, well, it doesn't have to be perfect. One is different from the other, but you still want it to be more aesthetically pleasing. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. I'll leave that to clean up. One more thing I want to do with the beard is I want to do this undercutting. Let me show you. Cut that straight in and then cut this out. So you see that shadow? That's what I like. It has that extra little shadow. I mean, even though it's actually supposed to stay on the hair, or the hair is supposed to stay on the shoulder, but I like that extra. It's up to you if you want to do that. Do the undercut. See how that adds? I mean, at least at my angle, does look to you. Straight across. Let's do a couple of them here. Come down. Add more dimension. See, it just kind of pulls it out a little bit. You know, it's your choice if you want it to come straight down. I think I'll do that to this one here. And you can do the same thing to the beard. I do the same thing to the beard. Pop the beard out. And I'm going to leave, I'll do the rest a little later here, but what else thing I want to do is the same, what I was mentioning before, is to do a clean and undercut so that the shirt, so that the cloak will really stand out. And they just come right out. Look at that. See that pop out there? That adds a little extra aesthetic value. See, that's why I didn't really need to clean that up too much, because I'm going to do this undercutting. I like it when it really pops out like that. And you can just, you can undercut deeper if you want. I'm just going to leave it for there, for now. Let's do, no, excuse me, let's do this side. Look how that just pops right out of there. Now the last thing I want to do here, one of the last things, other than other detailing, is I want to get that helmet formed. And I'm going to take quite a bit out here. And rounding, I want it to come straight up when I start rounding, before I start. Sometimes I get carried away and go too round, and then it turns out to be just like a little, like a turtle head on top. But I'm going to start going straight up for now. And now is the time to really start getting into... I think we might be okay. I was a little afraid. I think now I might have to take some of the hair off. I think I might want to go a little deeper. So let's round that a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to take some of this off, because the helmet is going to come back a little bit. So I want the helmet to kind of come back. A little cleaning there. Getting there, getting there. And then there we go, get a little bit of clean and undercut. Bring this back just a little bit. I think we're good, and then I'll put the hair back in. Give you one more scoop. Now we come just at an angle in to the hat, helmet, like that. Okay, as far as the heavy work is pretty well done. I mean, I'll do some detailing. This particular Viking is going to have wings on, and I'll certainly have patterns for the horns if you wish. Or you can keep it as is. You know, like I said, the Vikings never had anything on their helmet. I don't know, did they? Or is it really truly an artist's conception of how things went? And I like to kind of get the wing, or in your case, or whatever, you know, put the horns on there. Kind of get it ready, or working on it. And then, so then I would know how it would fit. One other thing I was going to mention before is I want to do a really big undercut here. This is a super undercut here. This is going to... I mean, don't go too far down this way. We just want to go up this way more. That's what I'm kind of aiming for, is going up. And there's a lot of other odds and ends too. And then I'll shape this. We'll get back to shaping this, cleaning up, shaping, cleaning. But as far as, is that what you got right now? So we got a good angle for you. So you can stop at any time and it's just only going to get better and better. Now I did start the so like detailing or cleaning up process. I want you to look at this. And what I did was, just like when I started working on the beard, making large chunks, large chunks of hair, and then I rounded them off. I did the same thing here, which made littler chunks, and then I cleaned up underneath. And so I'm going to try to see if I can show you with my visor on and see if I can get close enough and you could see. Took my little detailing knife. It's a matter of cleaning it out. Clean out the undercut and then separate the chunks. Like that. Then take my knife and kind of make new hunks, more smaller hunks. Going to dig a little deeper with the knife. And you don't have to worry if you take a hunk off while doing this. I mean, it is the hair. Again, I always say it's imperfect. And see, I'm creating more shadow. And then I'll do the same thing back this way and separate those two. Actually, those three small micro hunks. And then like I did before is I'll just make these little microwaves. Microwave might not be a good word, but and then occasionally do some cutting deeper. To show more shadow. Shadowing is good. And then I want to show you something else here. Let's see if I can do this right here. Now, you'll notice here, this piece here, what I might want to do is put it underneath, so as if it is inside the hair and it's coming out. You can do a few of those. You see how that works there? Like this hair goes in, like it's coming out. So I've done, I think I've done, where have I done I've done one like that. There's one I've done. And that's how you would do it. Let's see if we can continue on. Let's clean this up here. I want to do the cut first. And then I want to separate these. And then some waves. Here's a, this is a good suspect here, except, yeah, we can have, let's see, can we have two of them go in at the same time? Let's experiment. And then this one is going in. See how that works? Now it's coming out. So that's basically what I've done all the way around. I mean, I started on this side, and I'll go do the same thing with the beard. Getting everything cleaned and ready to put the other pieces on. So we need to deal with, I clean this up a little bit. Probably more cleaning. I think I got to get some more undercuts going there. Now I've got this all picked out here, and I'm pretty well done with this, basically. What I've created was a sort of what we want to call a artistic shield, where you can't, not the full shield, but just kind of just like as we have the arms are cut off and then the waist is cut off and so on. And kind of try out, I'm going to try out with the shield and kind of like have a half shield, maybe even shape it a little more. I did kind of cut in to the beard a little bit here, and it's just a simple piece. I mean, you know, I can give you the pattern too. You know, oops, looks like that, and all I did was it's I'd say 3/8. What's the next one? 3/8, not ½ inch. It isn't ½ inch, probably 3/8 thick. And I just simply took the saw marks off of it, is all I did. I don't know, I don't think you wanted to see me do that. I mean, I'm just taking the saw marks off. And then also I cut also from, now this is like darn close to ½ inch. It's very thick. There's a reason why I would like to have it thick. This is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to have him wearing wings. Again, this is all artistic because Vikings, as is proven, did not wear horns or wings. But I'm going to go with the artistic version. You're going to keep it like this if you want, you know. And we'll shape the helmet a little more. I wanted to see how this is going to fit. And then because there's going to be like a rim, and then there's going to be a rim up the center. And if you wanted to put some bolts in there, or not bolts, but rivets in there, we'll go from there. But what I wanted to talk about with these wings now is that excuse me, there's the pattern I use. I made a little line, just a little. I stretched it out a little more. And again, I'll have the patterns on the website. Now, the wings, there's going to be a left and right wing here. because we're going to have the wing here is going to turn this way on this side, and it's going to turn this way on this side. So I want to take my pencil. We'll start with this one. Make a little bow right there. Now, what I'd like to do, usually I will get carried away and not pay attention. Not that that's ever happened to anybody. I'll put this one in right now so I don't get to pick it up and start going the wrong way. It's actually be more like this on him. Just take one, start with one, simple knife, chisel, whatever you like, and you just start cutting it. Now I have the grain going this way. I think it's better that the grain goes this way instead of this way, because then the wing would snap when you cut or drop or whatever. And so just cut that down. This is kind of a semi-stiff piece of wood, as I'm discovering, but we're going to move forward, taking the saw marks off and bending it at the same time. Little saw marks, bending. Let's just for granted, let's see if the chisel will do better. Can I do better with a chisel? Let's find out. Well, as long as my thumb isn't in the way. Again, as I always say, when you cut, you know, I mean, I can't have my thumb out of the way. I mean, if my thumb's out of the way, I mean, how can I hold it? So therefore, I have to be very careful, especially this sharp point here on the tip of your is not good. So wear your glove, and then just, you're only chipping right here, that's all. You're not just putting the metal into the wood and just push. You're being conscious of what's going on here. Take some of the I mean, a lot of people would say, "Egads, you're cutting towards yourself there," but as long as you're focusing. I always want to say, if people say, "You got to be careful," but what does it mean? Here you need to focus on how far you want to carve. I think I could pick up the knife now. Okay, now this being the wing, I'm going to just go up to the line, get up a little more. I still want it a little thick because I don't want it to break. You know, I don't want it to break when it's sitting on the shelf. It's just kind of taking it's almost like taking the corner off like this for rounding. That's what we're going to do, is kind of start the rounding process. Taking the corners off. Just taking the corners off. And then once you've taken the corners off and you're relatively satisfied, I'm talking about the top now. Don't do anything to the bottom yet. And you're relatively satisfied with the shape. Maybe some tings here and there, and then I'm going to take that pencil mark, saw mark off now. So I'm pretty well happy with it. I said just the top. I think I'm going with the grain there, better be careful. Oops, buried the tip of the knife there. Now the bottom is different because what's going to happen, since this is a wing, on the top we just simply took up the corner off. But here we want to get in the center. You can draw a line if you want. We'll do that. Draw your center line if you want. For this time, we're going to go from the center to this point here, basically. So it looks more like a wing. When I got to, this one has an anomaly right there. I hate that. Oops. The wrong way there is taking too much off. Same with this side here. I don't want this to come too much to a sharp point. Again, easy to break. Then we'll bring it up to a sharp point, but not a delicately sharp point. Now, I'm pretty well satisfied with how the kind of turns out like a wing. So we'll just take that out of there. Now the body of this wing here, we're just going to basically kind of round it a little bit. Keep it in mind which way the grain is going. And clean the saw marks. I mean, if it feels like the wood is going to give, then go the other direction. And then I want to turn this. Make sure I got that there. Come up here. Come and turn. I think I might need my detailing knife to do this. And you turn it. Because we would like for that to be rounded and not have any square corners. Still trying to be careful, mindful where that green is going. So we just kind of want to round it this way a little bit. Not completely like a circle, and do the same thing here. Now this is going to be somewhat sharp here. Turn it. Turn it. Sharp, but still rounded, yet kind of shows a sharpness that something's happening here. Get all that, which direction we need to go here. All right, got all the saw marks off, got it all rounded out. Now what I want to do is I want to turn the knife here, use a chisel right here. Just a little bit, but you're putting a little valley in here. That's better. Let me do the other side and then I'll show you. Carve sort of like just a little valley, not too deep. Oops. Be mindful as to the direction that wood is going. I think I need to get some detailing knife on that. We'll do that. See, will that help, or will I need to get a chisel on it? So you see, you kind of put a little knuckle in there. I don't know if that's the best way. Opposite of a knuckle. Let me clean this up a little bit more. Yeah, the green is just perfect, so it won't work well. Okay, now remember this is going to go on this side. And you can see how the helmet is that the helmet is round. I mean, we don't want to go like this. So we want to put a little bend to it. Therefore, we got two things that's on this side. Yeah, before I go any farther, is that correct? Yes, that's correct. You make sure whatever, and you got to do a little bit again. Twist your knife or bend your knife because the helmet is round. And I want to go all the way till all the saw marks are removed. Let me detail the knife again here. And then we see how that fits. I mean, I'm not going to have it straight up like this. We probably could, if you'd want to experiment. I just want a little bit of bend to it, angle to it. See, like with that would be too much. That's too much. And it is just a matter of working and working and working until you get this. So in other words, you're going to take this off and just you're going to meet up to here. You're not going to take hardly any of that off. You can shape, on the other hand, you can shape, I've done it before and I've not really been satisfied, is you take the helmet and you cut a hole that fits that and shove it in there. I've really not been too happy with that either. This is sort of the lesser of the two evils, I believe, and then you're going to kind of create something around the border that gives you the indication that, yeah, he knows what he's doing here, putting this wing. I'm going to round this off a little bit. There. The thing is, I can't hold it with my finger because if I do, it'll snap up. So I need to hold it with my finger and thumb and finger. Just a little more adjustment here and there. One more thing of adjustment here, and then I want to move on to the next. Now I got it cupped too much. There. We be jamming? Oh, I guess I can hold it with my thumb if I'm. We be jamming. Okay, now you could leave it as is and paint it white or whatever, any other bird you want. Let's take the next step. It depends on what you want to do. Let's take the next step and take my pencil and let's create. I'm going to do a little circle here. That's going to be a circle of feathers. And then the rest. I want to do the circle first. Now from there, now we can take the circle and make bumps. Bump goes out in. Can I do this like this? Can I do it? So it goes out and in, out and in, out and in. Sort of like that, but I think I got it too sharp. And the same thing here. Kind of more like that. That's better. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You do exactly the same thing on the other side. But let's just move on here. Now we want to twist the chisel this way. As we're, of course, you've got to be mindful of the grain. Like that. Oops. Be mindful of the hand that you're going to. Remember, we're only going to cut a little at a time here. We're not just putting the chisel in the wood and let her fly. And then we do this. Oops, I'm sorry. Twist this way because the the top one is the one that's going to be on top. See, this top one is going to be on top this way. Here, can I lift this up and show you without hurting myself here? Now you can use a little bit of imagination and kind of do a little bit of this. For these wings here. Or you can be more realistic or creative, whatever, by using a... Now whenever you use a chisel in this way, make sure you wiggle. Because what happens, what I've done before is you poke it in and say good enough. The thing is when you paint, then the water or the moisture will bring that back together and you can hardly see it. So you need. So either which way you want to choose. In fact, you can even do the same thing for here in the main, these here with the chisel. And these kind of have some minor spots too. In fact, let me use a smaller chisel then. I think I might need some more bend to it there. Or you can even, if you want to have the time, as you shove in one, like we did with the nose, you shove it in this way, and you see if you can get a piece. If you can get a piece out, then it's not going to come together when you paint. So it depends on how much time you want to spend on it. Let's get my eraser here. And it depends on how much detail you want to put in it. If you want to get the knife mark in here, this is this part here. Let's just kind of do one. Just like we did before, like you're creating the V, come back the other way, and you scoop that out. And again, I wish I had my visor on, or my goggles on, so I could see. Magnifier on. So there's so many different I'm showing you so many different things. Again, you could just have it just without doing anything, paint it white, call it good. It's still good artistically. You can just a little scrape here and there, that's good too. You can make it realistic, get a bird book out and make it as realistic as you want. Now I'm gonna turn the camera off and I'll do the other side and the other. I think it'd be kind of too boring. You can just actually, if you didn't get what I was talking about, you can rewind. And same here, you can cut here down and then cut here to help define the wings better. Again, it depends on how much detail you want to put into this. And if you really want to get into details, which I certainly don't want, is then you want to, if you want to go ahead and create little, what do you call it, little feather hairs or whatever you call it, lines. Oh boy, you can do that. I mean, if this is more of darn close to full human shape, I probably, or human size, pardon me, I probably would do something like that. But this size, I mean, just enough to show that, yeah, there's some feathers and whatever. Both sides, both wings. And so have had it on the other side and the other wing.